Alright, hello, how are you doing today? Today's tutorial is going to be on how to make these F-bombs. It's fairly easy to make. As you can see, you can use any color that you would like. Right now I'm going to be using white Red Heart yarn, Super Saver. I'm going to use a eye hook, 5.5 millimeter, a pair of scissors, and of course a yarn needle. And that is it. As you can see, you can use any color you'd like to choose. But again, I'm right now, for the beginning part, for the actual bomb itself, I'm going to be using the white. So this way you can see it with this dark background. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a slip knot on the hook. Next we're going to do chain 2, 1, 2. Okay, and now in the second chain we're going to do 8 half double crochets. There's 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet. And then we're going to chain 1. Actually, we're going to... Okay, the next step we're going to do 2 half double crochets in each of the previous chains. Which totaling will be 16 half double crochets. Okay, we are now working in the last 2 chains. Okay, we're going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet, chain 1. Okay, now we're going to do alternating 1 half double crochet and 2 half double crochets. So now it's 1, the next chain will be 2, the next chain will be 1, the next chain will be 2, okay, you will continue this process until you reach the end of the round. Okay, you are now at the end of the round. You should have 18 half double crochets. You will now go into the top of the first half double crochet and do a slip stitch, chain 1. Okay, now our next round is going to be half double crochet in the first chain, half double crochet in the second chain, 2 half double crochets in the third. You will repeat this process until the end of the round. Okay, we are now at the end of the round. We'll go ahead and do it again. Go through the top of the first half double crochet and chain 1. Okay, as you can see now it's starting to form. Now with that being said, you should have 24 half double crochets in the round that we just completed. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and go to the next round. This time we're going to do a half double crochet in the first, half double crochet in the second, half double crochet in the third, and now in the fourth you'll do 2 half double crochets. Now you continue this process until the end of the round. You will have 30 half double crochets. Okay, we're ending our rounds by slip stitching into the first half double crochet and then chain 1. Okay, next, okay, our next 2 rounds we're going to do a half double crochet in each of the chains. So that'll be 30 half double crochets in the next 2 rounds. Okay, we will then do a slip stitch into the top of the half double crochet in the beginning of the round and then chain 1. Okay, now that we've done that, our next round we're going to do half double crochet in the first 3 chains, 2, 3, and in our next chain we're going to do a half double crochet decrease. Next chain we're going to do a half double crochet and then a half double crochet in the next, half double crochet in the third chain, and then the next chain will be a half double crochet decrease. You will repeat this pattern all the way to the end, and I'm going to go ahead and show you. Okay, you go ahead and do a half double crochet in the next 3 chains, now the half double crochet decrease, you have yarn over, go through the chain, pull the yarn through, there's 3 loops, yarn over, go into the next chain, pull the yarn through, and now you have 5 loops, yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. Alright, now as you can see it's starting to decrease, it's starting to form the shape of the actual bomb itself. So now in our next row we'll go ahead and do a chain 1, and we will do half double crochet in the first 2 chains, and then in the third chain we'll do that half double crochet decrease again. Half double crochet in the next 2 chains, and then half double crochet decrease in the next. Okay, we'll repeat this until the end of round. Okay, in this round we will go ahead and pull this yarn up a little bit, and we'll then take some fiber film you can pick up at any local store, a little craft store that is, or a Walmart. I know I'm making a lot of noise and I apologize for that. Stuff it as firmly as you would like for it to be. Use your preference. Okay, that's as filled as I'm going to get it. We will go ahead and, of course, do a chain 1. And now we will do a half double crochet in the first chain, and then a half double crochet decrease in the next. And we will continue this until the end of round. Okay, when we end this round, it'll be a slip stitch into the top of the beginning half double crochet, then do a chain 1. Then I'll go ahead and proceed and do a slip stitch and leave long enough tail so you can hand sew in to shut the hole close. So I just pull it through so then I can create a knot. And now I take my yarn needle and I close the hole shut. All I simply do is I weave in and out of the chains and then pull it so it tightens it and closes the hole. Nothing specific. Okay, once you have this hole closed, of course try to shape your bomb because for some reason it wants to be lopsided. I then put a knot, and personally I've learned through crocheting to take the yarn and just pass it through to where it comes out on the other side, so then it gives it a little bit of length so this way don't break so easily or people catch it. Okay, the next step we will learn how to do the actual letter F. Okay, and this time I'm going to be using the red heart black to create the letter F, so this way it stands out. I will then do a slip stitch onto the hook, still using the same size hook, size I, 5.5 millimeter. I will then do a chain 4, 3, 4, and in the second chain I will do a single crochet along with the remaining chains. Chain 1, and we'll turn our work. Do a single crochet in each of the chains. And we'll repeat this process by turning our work for a total of 10 rows. Okay, hopefully this white piece of paper helps out so you can see this a little bit better. I like to check myself to make sure that I'm not making it too big. And right now it looks like I'm making it too small. Well, I got one more row. Looks like I got it perfect. Okay. Looks like 8 rows is what I went up doing. Okay, we will now do a chain 1. And now we will work along, I don't know if you can see it here, but we will now work along, whoops, the side. So right next to the hook is where we're going to go. We're going to go into the next 2 chains. That might be a little bit hard, I don't know. You feel free to use a smaller hook, that's up to you. But I just simply shoved it in there. Okay, we will now chain 1, turn the work, chain 1, turn your work. It's basically 2 single crochets in each round. Now again, I like to check my work. So I'm going to take this and put this against this F that's on this ball right here. It appears I did it exactly like I was supposed to. So basically what it is doing 2 rounds. Now once you're finished those 2 rounds, you'll do a slip stitch, and then we will cut it length long enough so this way you could take your yarn needle and weave it in. Okay, the next step you're going to take and slip stitch it on your hook. This is the way I did it. Some people just slip stitch it onto the actual yarn itself. Okay, we will now go like right around in here in the middle and attach the yarn I personally just take and do my first single crochet while I'm attaching it, and then to the chain right next to it I then do another single crochet, chain 1, and then I turn my work and do a single crochet in both chains. And depending on how much you're wanting it to come away from the actual letter, that's entirely up to you. I'm only doing the 2 rounds that I just did. I'll go ahead and do a slip stitch. Now this time leave a fairly lengthy piece of yarn, pull it through so it tightens, and now I'm just going to hand sew it onto the actual bomb that I created. Okay, first we'll just take our needle, our yarn needle, if I can find it. There it is, it's hiding underneath this ball of black yarn. And I'm just going to hand sew it in so this way you don't see it anymore and it doesn't look crappy. I'll just simply cut the ends once I'm done here. I'm going to do hand sew this one in too. one more in and then we'll hand sew in the F. Okay, simply just do the best you can. Here's the top part where we sewed the hole shut. Just try to put it as best you can in the middle of the actual bomb itself and just basically hand sew it in. By going around all the edges. Of the letter F. As you can see now, it's starting to look a lot better. It's starting to shape with the letter F. Simply just go around the edges and get them to where it's attached to the bomb. If you can, try to not have your stitches to be shown as best as you can. I know it's a hard thing to do sometimes with some of these letters. Okay, it looks like I have it all attached. Next we're going to do the top part so we can add the wick. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about right here by adding this gray little nub, and then of course we're going to add this to make it look like it's fire, like it's lit. And what we'll need is just any basic scrap yarn. Right now I'm using the Barnett. It's a thinner gray because that's what I have on hand. You do a slip stitch onto your hook, then you go ahead and you do chain 2, then you will do a half double crochet into the second chain. Altogether you will do 3 half double crochets, excuse me. Slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet. Next round you will do 2 half double crochets, which will be a total of 6 half double crochets in this round. You do 2 half double crochets in each chain. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, the next round you will do a half double crochet in the back loop only of each of the rounds, so that'll be 6 total. There's 3, 4, there's 5, and then the last round will be 6. As you can see, it is kind of messy, so what I do is I just push it through and then tuck in that little end. And then in the next round you'll do a half double crochet in each of the chains, but we'll go through both loops. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, we will end this by doing a chain 1. Now leave long enough piece of yarn so this way you can hand sew in to the top of this part here. Pull it through so then this way you can make a knot. Okay, just hand sew it in. Okay, you just take your needle and go along the edges and hand sew it in the top here, as you can see. Be sure to try as best as you can to hide the sewing. Okay, I don't know if you noticed, but as you can see, it makes it more flat when you go through the front or the back loop only for that one round. We want it to try to make it so it at least looks sort of like a bomb. So see how it made it look flat? Okay, once you're done sewing it all the way around, simply just what I do is make the knot. Then of course I take the needle as best as I can and just shove it to where it comes out on the other side. Again, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. That's entirely up to you. I just choose to do it so it gives it a little more, I don't know, I guess less likely for it to unfix. That's okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create the wick by adding it to the top of this. We're going to be creating this wick along with the fire. Okay, and we'll just use a basic red heart white, and I use a scrap pumpkin orange, red, and yellow in Red Heart Super Saver brand. Okay, again we will do a slip knot onto the hook, and then once you do that we go ahead and do a chain 3. Okay, in the second chain we'll go ahead and do a single crochet, and in the last chain 1, turn your work. Now however lengthy you want to add this wick to the top there, it's entirely up to you. Just make sure you do a chain 1 and turn your work. Okay, I'm going to stop at the 5th round, and at the end I'm going to do a slip stitch or chain 1, whichever. Leave a fairly lengthy amount so this way I can hand sew it in. Pull it through, make the knot, and then this little piece here I just take and hand sew it in. Okay, next we're just going to go ahead and hand sew in the wick. Oh, I guess I sewed it in the wrong way. Hang on one second, y'all. Alright, y'all, and now I got it fixed. No rhyme or reason, just hand sew it in along the edge. I go twice just to make sure. Oop, gotta get back in the camera. Okay, just hand sew in the end, and then we'll add the fire to the end of the wick. Okay, next we just need a basic little piece like this of each color, yellow, red, and the pumpkin orange. And we're just going to sew it on to the edge over here to create that fire. Okay, after you hand sew them in, all you basically do is take and separate them. When you separate them, it makes it look like it's actual lit. It's a really neat effect. If you don't want to do that way, you don't have to. It's up to you. But all you do is separate each of the ends. Alright, and that's that. That's your F-bomb. Don't know which way it's going to show, but that's it. Fairly simple and easy. Hope you enjoy. You have a wonderful evening and a wonderful day tomorrow.